Hi there, students. Rural, rural. I've noticed this is a word a lot of people have difficulty saying. Rural, rural. Yeah, it's quite a strange R sound. Okay, rural means relating to the countryside or related to agriculture. So you can live in an urban area or suburban area, or you can live in a rural setting, in a rural area. Okay, so rural, relating to the countryside. You could have ruralism. Okay, this is a belief that life is better in the countryside, that it's more wholesome, that it's good for you, it's a simpler life. That would be ruralism. And you have a ruralist who believes in this idea. You can also have a ruralism. A ruralism are the words that people use in the countryside. He talks with all sorts of ruralisms. Okay, well that's a ruralistic accent, but a ruralism, an idiom or an expression that they use in the countryside. So his poetry was full of ruralisms, but rural. Okay, so he comes from a rural area. Yeah, not from a city. He has a rural background. He grew up in the countryside. This is a small rural church, a little tiny one. A rural community, a rural county. Okay, so a rural school. Okay, all of these things relating to the countryside, relating to country people, relating to country life. And this is the idea of rural. It has features which are typical of the areas which are far away from large towns and cities. Yeah, the old-fashioned rural way of life. So going back to this idea of ruralism, it's better to live in the countryside. I think ruralism or agrarianism is good for people. The one problem is it's almost impossible, or it's very difficult to be totally self-sufficient, because there are all sorts of trades and things that you need. Yeah. Yes, a blacksmith is a great thing to have, but a blacksmith can't make you a tractor. Yeah, he can probably make you a plough, but the tractor itself, and there aren't people normally to do these types of jobs. So yes, growing things and working in the soil is good for you, but you really need some sort of other source of income as well. It's good to try and be as self-sufficient as you can, and I think that's a great thing. Doing what you can. And then a mix with a modern lifestyle. So rural, relating to the country, rural households. Rural is an adjective. Yeah, I guess you could have the adverb rurally. Yeah, it would be lovely to live rurally. Yeah, so rural, bucolic, rustic, pastoral, in the countryside, the charm of rural life, in rural areas, the old rural way of life. Yeah, it sounds very, very attractive, the old rural way of life. This area is still very rural, it's still very undeveloped. And that is part of its charm. It's characteristic of the countryside. It's characteristic, not characteristic of the town. It's a rural area relating to the country, relating to country life, relating to country people, relating to agriculture, a rural pub, a rural setting, a rural life, a rural school. So let's see, formality, rural, 5 informality, use absolutely anywhere. And as to origin, it comes from Latin, ruralis, rural, from rus in Latin, the countryside. Okay, so rural, this word goes back a long way. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. by for now, rural.